Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stream. Yes, indeed. Hi all. Welcome to the video over on YouTube if you're watching over there, but we're also streaming over on YouTube as it happens. But without many of the accoutrements you would normally get with a Twitch stream, so most of the screen is just the game. So it's a kind of purer form of stream, but it doesn't have the camera and all that kind of stuff. No, it doesn't. Right, let's just do a bit of social mediaing. Take but a moment. There we go. And one in there. And one in the other one. There we go. That all looks fine and dandy. And oh yeah, blue sky. Yes. Got to do the blue sky. Do you blue sky? Possibly not. Anyway, we do. I do. Well, Twitter's going to collapse under its own mismanagement soon enough. So yeah, if you want another variation of Twitter, I suppose you should go there. Right. Okay. Right. Okay then. So we've got all of that going on. What's happening with the Twitch stream? Is that Mathematica? Welcome to the stream. Very good to see you. I do hope you're well. Let's have a look. What have we got? Have we got transcoding, and I've got a reply message. Bastion free. Thanks. I put one up on Dammy Yo. Yeah, I also accidentally raided Bastion for free at the end of the last stream. Like a noob. I'm just, yeah, obviously far more tired than I realised, I think. Yeah, I had no idea I'd done it, and it was, someone sent me a direct message straight after. Who was it? Ungfreak, yeah. You really are tired, you just raided Bastion. I just said I'm dead on my feet. Oh God! How to fluff it up? Right. Let's get some buffets. Yeah, I do. There we go. And Monday being my Sunday, I had to work on Sunday as well. I was working mostly yesterday, so that's why no stream. Oh, beer o'clock. Yeah, compulsory overtime. There's a lot of that in the industry I'm in, so, you know, emergencies happen, then emergency's gonna emergency. And that means a lot more calls, so, yeah, unfortunately. That's better. Yeah, they just needed more bodies on, you know, answering those phones, which is what we did all day. It was like, as soon as you ended one call, you were on another. So Sunday, I was tucked up in bed pretty early. Well, early for me, anyway. So, yeah. What do I want? Stuff, don't I? I do nano-repulsor. Instinctive control. We'll go for improved essence of Behemoth. We'll get a refresh on some of these, so we'll get NCU. We'll get the big NCU. It's so popular, I'm now waiting for my turn. someone's just hit it with their macro, I think. And let's get 8 hours moochums. No, I didn't do it. I didn't do that one. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. And for you. There we go. I think I'm going to make a new macro attempt to. Right, copy that, and then I'm going to copy that into a notepad, well, notepad++ file. There we go. Buff 1, buff 2, so a bit quicker next time. Right, let's get some missions sorted, shall we? I've got so much. I've got one space in my inventory and no first aids. Let's do a bit of inventory. You know, the thing I never do? Sort my inventory out. What has it got? Scorpal Basnax. Welcome to the stream. Shelby Info. Welcome to the stream. As I know, this is your only night off where you can watch me. So, or whatever time of day off that you can watch me. Right, let's have a look. So, what's in here? Yeah, stuff. You can go in the bank. Stuff. You can go in the bank. That I don't think's got much in it. That's got some stuff in it, but not much. That's an old first aid stim and... Memories of the war. Yeah, I was going to make a thing, wasn't I? Okay, well. Yeah, you're going in there. Right, that's a little better. And then we got an empty bag there. Then I need to get some NCU. First aid, where am I at? 1300. Not quite the 120, 160 ones from Inferno. I think they're 13 something. I think. We'll check when we get to Inferno. I'll just get... I mean, I don't really use them much with Agent because we're always using, you know, our own heals. But, yeah. Might be an idea. The 125 is the highest on a Ruby car shop, isn't it? And that requires 99... Yeah, we'll wait and get some from Inferno, I think. Mission Agency, how much we've missed you. Jojo, hey Carlos, welcome to the stream, sir. Right, so I've had a message back from Bastion for free, who won the Grace on Saturday. So, I need to sell the Grace to his character on GMI. I just need to double check the name again before I do that. I can't. I thought I'd raided successfully lost, but I hadn't. No, I raided Bastion for free and didn't even notice. So yeah, I was definitely very, very tired, and I had to get up and do it all again the next day, so. Didn't have to get up as early, but I was working till later, by quite a few hours, so. They were asking for people to stay even longer. They were offering all kinds of really cool incentives as well. I was just like, nah, I'm done. You know, let the younger ones do that. Thank you very much. I mean, me in my 20s was like, I'll work 20 hours. I don't care, you know. And then be perfectly fine on you know, the 4 hours sleep, or less than 4 hours sleep, because obviously there's downtime, getting ready, having a shower, yada yada yada. So probably getting by on like 3 hours sleep, you know, if that. Right, so the message we got was, I put one up on Damio, I think is how you would pronounce it, but yeah. So, just do with that one. Okay, daily rewards is broken on that one. Never mind. How are we doing on the YouTube? It's still on the start screen. Derp. It shouldn't be now. Yeah, okay, now it's fixed itself. Okay. Quite a delay on the auto back on the, you know, on the YouTube streaming page. Right, so I'm gonna sell 206 billion credits at the minute. Good lord. Alright. Yep. Right, Dinny something. Oh, there you go. Damio, they said. Double check. One more time to be 100%, just to show everybody in the chat. There you go. Batting free. That was from previously, see, 31st of the 8th. Grant, you've won the grace. And then Saturday at some point after the fact. Thanks, I put one up on Damio. So there's Damio. So sell to Damio. There we go. And let's put this back over here. There we are. Rage Star, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Right, we got all our missions. What else have we got? We haven't got freelancers this week, have we? No. Okay. What was the alien daily? We were closing the gap on Apotheosis 6. So, should be fine. Yes, we should. Right, okay. Oh, it's in PW. Okay. It's that one. It's a Rubicar one, rather than Alien Instance. How do we want to get to? We'll go through Newland, actually. Just because, why not? Let's look at the engine we wanted. But did not get. Oh, it's a dream. Just any of the ones they used in the new engine, beta engine trailers would have been good, but we didn't get any of them. There's two different distinct engines in those old trailers, which have now been pulled on YouTube, by the way. But I have them downloaded. You can't stop people grabbing videos from online. You can screen capture. You know, if you can view it, you can record it. It's as simple as that. You cannot. I mean, you can stop people directly downloading, but that's it. I mean, you can't. You know what I mean? I can go to OBS and say capture desktop and have nothing on screen except the desktop and full screen the video and record it. There's no way you can stop someone doing that, because it doesn't know it's being recorded. It's not a browser plugin or anything. That's why the whole NFT thing, I was, when it came out, 2019, 2020, I was saying, this is a massive, massive scam. How can you own a fucking JPEG and think it has some kind of value? Of course it doesn't. Anyone can screen grab it. You know, don't be ridiculous. Yeah, I called it what it was then, and then eventually I think everybody else, you know, like the general population of the planet who are maybe not as tech savvy kind of went, wait, you can just grab that though, right? you can right click any image on the internet and save it. If you can view it on the screen, you can capture it. It's as simple as that, you know. It's not even a conversation. I mean, people thinking there's value in NFTs just says, hello, I know nothing about computers or how they work. To me, that's all it says, so yeah. Right, let's go for this little fella over here. Yes, indeed. This is so quick on an NT, this mission. Because, of course, your nukes penetrate the reflect it has. I have been massively enjoying Stalker 2, though. And yeah, it does have a bit of jank. I've got later into the game, it definitely has a bit of jank. But nothing like, oh my god, you know, I want a refund jank. It's just a little bit of jank. Kaboom! Man, that screen shake. Yeah, I went to a base for one of the factions, and it doesn't know what to do with the colour paint on the walls. It's sparkling in and out of existence and doing all kinds of weird stuff with lighting. But it's the only building I've been in where it does it. Every other place has just been perfectly fine. I've not had any of the T-pose thing or, you know, any of that stuff. I've had none of that. So all this, oh my god, it's so horribly broken. Yeah, boo, boo, yeah. Yeah, none of that. I don't know what you were playing, but that's not the experience I'm having. It's fine. I had one frame rate dip, and then went back and updated my drivers for the game and went, oh, and it's not done it since. It's one of the first towns you get to. If you go downstairs into the barracks, suddenly your frame rate tanks for some reason. And then if you walk out of the town, it's fine. If you save, shut the game down, reload, it's fine. It's like it's a Unreal 5.1 or whatever it's based on. It's an error with that. That's all it is. Because Unreal has its own issues, like transversal stutter, etc. And it has it in every game that's ever been made for it, you know. I mean, I love how brutal that game is. It doesn't sound like fun. Okay, I've got to walk slowly because I've got so much stuff I need to sell for credits so I can get my gear repaired. So I've looted all the weapons and ammo I don't use off all these bandits and monsters and God knows. and stuff I found. So I can, it does like a sliding scale encumbrance system, you know, like in Bethesda. You're running around at full speed, full stamina, so you can sprint for as long, right up to like 1 gram below whatever the encumbrance level is, and 1 gram over it, and you're suddenly stuck, not being able to run. With Stalker 2, if you run around naked, you run real fast, and you can sprint for ages, but also you're immensely vulnerable. You've got no armor. As soon as you put your armor, your meds, your ammo, food, yada yada yada, your weight's going up, and the more you carry, the slower you get. So it's on like a slide almost. It looks like a VDU slide. And by VDU, I mean, see these things here? So if you're here in the green, like down there, you're okay. But if you've got a bit of stuff on you, you're going a hell of a lot slower once you're in yellow. And if you get into red, you're walking. Yeah. That's how it is. Without, firing up the game and showing you. Dear. So yeah, I mean, even if it's not your jam, I'd get the game when it's on sale or something if you're not sure about it. But don't believe that, oh my god, it's so broken, clickbait. Simply ain't true. It's not. Vanilla Skyrim without mods is more broken than Stalker 2 with no mods. There you go, I said it. They never fixed Skyrim. Modders fixed it. God, can you imagine playing Skyrim with like the vanilla UI, which is dog poop, and without the unofficial patch? It crashes every other minute. It's terrible. Stalker 2 is a technical masterpiece in comparison. Plus, it looks like it was made recently, not, 15 years ago. With mods, Skyrim looks pretty awesome. Without them, not so much. And old Rim, the old 32-bit version, not SE Special Edition and AE Anniversary Edition, which is the 64-bit with proper DX11 lighting. The shadows are worse than what you can see here and now. The blotchy, horrible mess on the original Skyrim, when other games had far better shadows and stuff. And you can't not notice shadows. That everywhere there is light, is a shadow. So yeah, it was a thing they should have got right straight away, really. And then I think Starfield's pretty good looking, but it doesn't look as fresh and up to date as things like Stalker and God, it's nowhere near Cyberpunk and anything like that, which actually came out years before. You have to remember, Cyberpunk came out in 2020. In fact, Starfield doesn't have the graphics in Witcher 3 are better, and that's a 2015 game, I think. That was the Red Engine. They've said they're going over to Unreal. I kind of wish they wouldn't. I think they should stick with the Red Engine, but they're the devs. They know what they're doing. Plus, they said no, we will be heavily modifying Unreal 5 for the new Witcher 4 game. I mean, that's what they did. It's the same essential engine in Witcher 3 as in Cyberpunk. And Cyberpunk today Like if you're up to 2.13 with Phantom Liberty, it just looks like amazeballs good. It's so good. And yeah, here we are playing the, you know, the venerable Anarchy Online from 2001. Goes to show you immersion and emergent gameplay, etc. And gameplay systems are what keep us engaged with the game. Now, Stalker 2, a lot of micromanagement on any difficulty. You know, you can be in a firefight and you start bleeding. If you don't duck for cover and start bandaging, you're going to bleed to death. At the same time, you need to reload. Reload is not instantaneous. You know, you have to watch someone physically reload that shotgun, even if it's, you know, will shoot off 6 cartridges at once, or whatever. You know, it can hold 6. You've got to go one in the barrel and then load the loader. You know. And you get jams. You get real you get real jams in the firing mechanism. So the lower the condition of the weapon, like if you've been, you know, bashing open crates with it and stuff like that, its condition will go down and down and down. If you've been out in the wilds, in storms with, you know, 100 dust particles everywhere and stuff, and you haven't been maintaining it, it's going to jam, and you've got to clear it. So it'll show you the bullet cockeyed in the chamber, and you got to get the thing out of there and recock it and then start shooting. All of that while things are chasing you, and, you know, or human NPCs are shooting at you. You know, so it gets real intense. We have a congregation of people here. Hey, hi. Airport Daily. Oh, poor prisoner. They've only got 2 minutes to go. That's not bad. Yeah, so if I get if the Stalker 2 genre of game is not your bag, cool. But yeah, don't listen to all the negative hype. It's vastly overstated. I've had one actual crash in 27 hours of gameplay. One. And as soon as it crashed to desktop, and an Unreal error reporter came up. The game engine just crashed. Unreal is still quite a new thing. They're on 5.1, which it means they don't have the new nanite and path tracing and all that, but they're already saying that will come, which I think will make it even more scary and immersive, you know, because the lighting just looks completely real. It is as well. If you put your head torch on, right, and you've got a lot of vegetation close to you, your peripheral vision looking into the night and into the distance is really bad. But obviously, you know, if you know there's NPCs watching you, boom, you put your headlamp off and you go, oh God, it's so dark now. But after a few seconds, it adjusts about the same speed my eyes do naturally. So it feels great to me. It might feel odd for other people, depending how their eyes adapt to luminosity. And you kind of go, oh no, I can see enough to see what I'm doing. I'm only just seeing colour, but I can see what I'm doing. You know, difficult to pick people out in the distance, but you can see what's immediately around you, you know, and react to it. The prisoner is going down. Oh my God. I don't think it's even picked a target at this point. I'm not seeing who it's fighting yet. Thanks for team. Right, okay, so let's head on back. Right, we can't hand that one in yet. Gotta speak to the warden. There we go. Wait a minute. Where did you come from? Arbiter's up. Yesterday was Sunday, today is Monday. Yeah, the Arbiter's up. I was thinking, oh, he wasn't up on the last stream, so he won't be up. Oh, yay, he is, but we've not handed in... No, we've only handed in the Alien Daily, and the Alien Daily doesn't count for the Freelancers Inc. Complete 3 daily missions thing. It's Alien Week. And I don't even need to talk to the Arbiter to know that. It's Alien Week, isn't it? Now, this is just a suspicion. I just get the feeling, at looking at you, that you have an Alien Week daily available. And don't ask me how I know. Right, okay, so let's... What was the other one? 4 holes graffiti. Oh, let's get it right. Let's talk to the warden and then we go do that. I'm glad I spotted him, actually. Had I not come to the grid, I would not have spotted. In fact, I'm pretty sure I went to the grid earlier on, but I didn't see it. Guess I just wasn't paying attention or something. I don't know. Excuse me. Not my fault. I didn't carbonate that alcoholic beverage. The manufacturers did. Right, I'll take the green. Goodbye. Delete item. There we go. Right. 4 holes or bust. I think it was this grid terminal, in fact, was the first time I ever entered the grid. I was trying to get in there, which was silly, because I'd just never seen it. Everyone was talking, oh yeah, you can get around real quick with the grid. And I was like, what's the grid? You know, 2001. Been playing a couple of days. Oh, you need loads of comp lit for it, do you? All right, okay. And I had none. And then someone gave me a comp lit buff. I think it was a general buff. And I couldn't enter. I was going, oh, but I want to see it. I want to see it. And I was west-assing trying to do it, which is ridiculous. And then I found a comp lit head implant and spent like an hour trying to get it in at the time because I didn't understand the systems. And got it in and finally entered the grid at West Ath and went, oh, I can go anywhere. And then realised, no, you need the comp lit for the exits as well. It's not like the fixer grid is. Not that I even knew what the fixer grid was. Had to be shown that. And I was like, well, how do I get it on my character? They're not a fixer. He says, well, you have to ask. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, if you want to enter the fixer grid on a non-fixer, you need a fixer to get you in. I was like, oh, okay. And not a lot of people had it. Fixers had it for themselves, but they hadn't done like the second half of the quest and whatnot. So, yeah. I'm not even sure the fixer grid for other people was a thing straight away. I can't remember. You know, because you're asking me to go back 23 years and... difficult. Right. Mission complete. XP. Thank you. I have my reward now. There we go. Goodbye. Should leave me with... Hang on, I need to... Yeah, let's just get rid of these. That was when we went into... Orb or whatever it's called. Well, they're just filling this up. Right. Freelancing. 1 normal daily. 2 Inferno. And beyond. I've got a map. Right, I want to get some first aids just because I ain't got none. Right, we've got 1,300 first aids to go. Let's check that's correct. Yeah, I think we need a bit more for the one I was thinking of getting, but we'll see. Right, so the 175's 1314. Damn. Okay, so the 160s need 12. Okay. Yeah, 50 of them. Slap them in. There we go. So, how is everybody doing? I know Monday's a bit of an odd day for a stream, but there we are. We're here, so why not? You know what is odd though? I actually had more people. Oh, I've just gone to the wrong exit. Not that it matters. I had more people watch the Stalker 2 stream than the following Anarchy Online stream, and that was on the Saturday with the Grace giveaway. Ooh, yeah, troubling. I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things. That would be lag. That would. That's be exactly what that was. Right. I'm gonna sneak here and go off and get another beer. Yes, I am. Oh dear. So how are we all? Mathematica, you were first on the stream. How the devil are you? Are you well? You okay? You're doing alright? Are you here to forget the rest of the week and just listen to me drone on about a load of rubbish? Oh, excuse me. You know when you know there's another one left. Dear me. Right, beer o'clock, everyone. There you go. Yeah, I know. Yeah, something got up my hooter. Yeah, I was trying to catch a bit of Christmas spirit yesterday. I was thinking, oh well, you know, another week and we're into December. God, what has this year gone? And I was looking at Netflix last night, and I think I picked up a Christmas, the one with Kurt Russell is Santa. I can't think what the hell it's called. So I watched that and I was trying to catch a bit of the spirit, and I did a little bit. So yeah, what I'm trying to do is get myself into it. Because when you're a kid and you're innocent, you know, you get swept along by it all, and it's nice. It's great, you know. You're rehearsing for the Christmas play, and usually you're doing like the nativity. I always got cast as like one of the wise men or something. Like, well, you're the tallest, so you're going to be this one. Mackie, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Formerly Spa 2112. If you don't get the 2112 reference, you need to Google 2112 and listen to everything you find. If it's a piece of music, not any theory about things. Yeah. Okay, there's a distinct lack of Somphos. Someone has been here. Oh, there's one. Oh, we got them all. I'd like you one at a time, please. Here we go. Oh, FP dock has run out. Let's get it back up. I watch on YouTube, but no Kalos 2 pick. I never used to have that on the original, kind of series of videos I did, though. I never thought putting my face on screen was going to help anybody want to watch the video, so. Well, this will probably just turn people off, but then with Twitch, everyone will say, yeah, but this is how you do it on Twitch. You should put it on Twitch. And I would do it on YouTube, but the problem is, if you've only got one webcam, you can't seem to share it to two. You probably can. There'll be a way of doing it, but you've got to use these restream things, and I don't really want to do that. I like doing it my own way. I don't want to rely on some third-party software for it to work. Do you know what I mean? So I use regular OBS to stream to YouTube at very high bit rate and 1440p, with the game being the main focus. Visually at least. But if I try and share the webcam across to there, it don't do it. It doesn't like it. So yeah, it's sort of like this device is in use. This device is in use, kind of a deal. So yeah. There's a lot of them in that hole. Not sure what's happening there. There we go, and I'll just... like so. Oh, someone calmed it. Okay. And not taught bad, just pulling your leg. I know, no one really wants to watch me. Oh, he's calmed them all. Oh, fair play. With the box or whatever. Fair enough. He's decimating them with his NT anyway, so... trying to get a dojo. How does it work when you've got a box, though? Are you all, like, levelling it up with dailies and stuff like that? That must be a nightmare, because you're not going to get the same daily every time on every character, are you? So you're going to have to actually play one character at a time, and then for dojo hunt, you're going to be running around for hours trying to find one for all of them. Must be a nightmare. Would dig on. Yeah, if I could share everything on YouTube as I you know, like you can pay Streamlabs money and it will allow you to stream to more than one platform. But it's like, no, you don't even own the core of your software. It's open source. It's OBS. You know, you can't even take credit for it in of itself. You know, when it was Streamlabs OBS, it was called that because it literally was OBS, and it still is. And the only reason I still use Streamlabs is the theme that I use. So, you know, the all the stuff, you know, so... That whole thing, I can't get it to work on OBS. It won't do it. It just breaks. And I paid for it, so I'm sorry. But I like it, so I want to carry on using it. I mean, Streamlabs does simplify streaming on Twitch. It certainly does simplify it. You know, it has built-in plugins and whatnot for chat and chat windows and stuff like that. It does make it really easy to get to grips with and get set up and get started, kind of thing. Versus OBS is like... I started with OBS for recording. But before that I was using Shadowplay. But I was using Shadowplay on a 680 graphics card, so the Shadowplay that would work then, for some reason, NVIDIA in their completely not infinite wisdom went for a variable frame rate to make it more streamlined and efficient. But the thing is, when you edit that kind of video, Video editing software is not built for variable frame rate. It's built for fixed frame rate. You don't go to the movies and watch a movie that has different frame rates. The whole movie is at one frame rate. Same as videos on YouTube and every single platform there is, from legacy to modern, has a fixed frame rate. And editing software is built around that. Now, you say, well, why is that a problem? Well, if you've got variable frame rate, your audio and visual screen desyncs. So you end up with the audio is like either ahead or behind of the visual image. So I had to record with OBS. After recording with OBS, I would then have to run it through something like Handbrake to make it a constant frame rate, or keep making micro adjustments to the audio in relation to the video track in an editing software, which took hours and hours and hours and hours. And then OBS comes along, is so lightweight you don't even feel it, and uses the same hardware encoder built into the graphics card. It hooks it and uses it, but makes it do it at fixed frame rate. So I immediately switched to OBS for recordings, and they were all instantly better quality. After a bit of getting to know it and finagling and colour gamut and stuff like that. Well, I don't know if it's the same guy, but it's looking very barren over here, like someone has laid waste to this area and there are no Somphos or Brimstone Demon. Useless to me. I need Demon of Shadow for a doja. I don't know what Shadow Play is like now. I mean, you can broadcast with it and stuff. I think they're, trying to expand it and stuff. Which, okay, it's kind of commendable, but basic feature, fixed frame rate, please, so it can be edited with any generic software out there, or any industry standard software out there. Alright. We are not having much luck with the Dojanus today. We're really not. We've usually got one by now, haven't I? Yeah, see, I don't think I'm an attractive enough person to be on camera, but that's my own opinion. Perhaps I have my standards are too high. Mind you, they do say the reason you don't think you look attractive is you are not your type. Which would be true, because I don't go for men with beards. I generally go for women without them, but there you are. So there is some truth to that, I think. You are, you're one of the quest mobs, okay. So maybe I'm, although I did, someone did one of those gender swap things, the image manipulation thing. Before AI, it was just like a generic one. Someone did it, and I thought, wow, I'd have been a really good looking woman. I think it made my nose smaller and my eyes a little bigger and my lips fuller, or something like that, and raised my chin. It was like quite manipulated from how I look. Well, obviously. And I looked and I was like, oh yeah, I'd ask her out, I mean... You'll make a great Gandalf in the next Lord of the Rings. If I could act for toffee, yeah, maybe. But I'm not a Shakespearean actor, which I think is kind of, you need to be that to make Gandalf work. You need to be... Ian McKellen is a notable Shakespearean theatre actor. He's done lots of films, true, but he's, essentially he's a theatre actor. And that's what he brings to Gandalf. And that's what Gandalf needs to have. He needs to have that gravitas and, you know, everything else. For the character to work on screen, it needed to be him or an actor like him, you know, of his ilk. Like Anthony Hopkins could have quite literally played the role, etc. Even though he's less of a Shakespearean actor, but he has certainly done a lot of Shakespearean stuff. Or Patrick Stewart, you know, at the same age could have done it. They have that projection of voice and whatnot. I mean, I've got the beard, and I guess I've got the booming voice, but, you know, it's not quite in the same league as someone with a Shakespearean theatre background. I think they've got a little bit more going on than I do. But yeah. If I was asked to do it, would I go and do it? Yeah, of course I would. I'd probably make a pig's ear of it, though. I think I'd find it hard to consistently pretend to be a different person, which is what an actor is good at doing. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be convincing. You know, one scene with multiple takes, yeah, I could probably pull that off, but I think most people could. Could I do it for the hundreds of hours of filming and rehearsal? And I don't know. Do not know. I mean, I don't put on a character when I stream. You know, this is just me. This is how I sound when I talk to Mrs. Callis too, when I talk to my son, when I talk to work colleagues, etc. You know, I could do a pantomime version of Gandalf, probably. Amateur dramatics, you know, that kind of thing. Where all the Somphos at? Oh dear. It'd be interesting to see me try and do like a live action adaptation. I very much doubt. I could do a line maybe with 50 practices or something. I mean, I'm not shy of performing. I mean, I did it for years professionally, you know, when you do put on a bit of a show, you kind of exaggerate yourself, but that's all you're doing. Otherwise, people won't buy it unless you're a really good actor. And, you know, there are performers who are incredibly good actors, etc., who can get away with it. But they're rare talented people, you know. And you know, yeah, the makeup would have an easy time trying to make me look like Gandalf. I just turn up, I just put the costume on, you're done. That would probably be bad. Maybe a bigger nose, I don't know. Okay, I think we're going to cross the border into the other side of the bridge and maybe try some of the Somphos there, if they're there. The thing is, if I tried to do it, I'd be trying to act like Ian McKellen acting. So that's not what you do as an actor, though, is it? You don't. You take yourself into the role, not another actor's performance into the role. That's fatal. Because it's like you're doing a third party, because then you're doing an impression, you're not acting. So it's not the same thing. We've got the "you shall not pass," you know, and the A is pronounced, you know, Pause, not pass. Pause. You know, it is wonderfully written. And it was how people like Tolkien spoke, etc. But that's me doing an impression of Ian McKellen acting as Gandalf. It's not the same thing as trying to get in the head of the being that is Gandalf. What the great character actors. Oh my god! First kill over the border. Hey ho, we're over the border now. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, dance with me. Someone clip that. That was one of my funnier moments. Right, let's beacon. I'm not often funny, but I think I was then. I made myself laugh then. That's probably not the best way to gauge whether you're funny, whether you think you are or not. You should probably rely on other people to gauge whether or not you're funny. Oh, I've still got the info screen for my first aid stim open. Well, aren't I clever boy? Right, let's click the thing. There we go. Right, back to nascence. And a quick hand in. That should complete the freelancers. We get that handed in as well. We've already, I think, hit the... Yeah, we're on Apotheosis 7. So 6 gave me 10 to all base abilities. Actually, I'm going to have to do that. There we go. Yeah, so 10 to base abilities, concealment for 50, treatment for 30, first aid for 30. Oh, no. You know what this means? I now have enough for the higher... No, oh, never mind. I'll use these ones till I've run them all out. Bit more run speed. And then the next one is add damage for 20 to all stats. Okay, that's pretty good. Got a little ways to go on that. Hello? Oh, it is let me in. Right. Scarlet Dalquist. I have a doja for you. Goodbye. Right, that should have got me... Freelancers Inc. Complete. Right, let's go hand in Freelancers. Then I'm getting a beer, and then we'll do an Inferno mission for a bit more research. Excuse me. Mimic profession doctor terminated. Okay. And now we click on Ralph. Daily mission rewards 1. What did we get? Freelancers Inc. We got a Freelancers Inc. token. I could reset and do all the dailies again. To me, Patrick Stewart is the only gurney. I don't know though, he's good in that. Even if everybody mispronounces Harkonnens in that movie. You know, whoever said the word first is the one that did it. That's how Data ends up as Data, not Data. Because Patrick Stewart had a line that said, Data, blah, 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 blah. Forward the Heinz 57 beans deflector dish, or, you know, whatever. And he said data. And the writing crew all kind of went, yeah, we should go with that. It's not data, the American pronunciation of the word data. You know, and they made the point of it with the in-between doctor, who I actually thought was really good. Because you have, oh gosh, what's her name? Can't think of the actor's name. Absolutely beautiful woman with the cheekbones and the red flame hair and yada yada, you know. What's her real name? Anyway, Crusher anyway in the show. Polanski replaces her. She was one of the beautiful babes from the original series, though. Gates McFadden, that's it. I mean, they're all old folks now, like her and Patrick Stewart, you know, they're old folks now. But, you know, you look at them back then and they were in their, 40s, 50s back then? They looked bloody good, you know. But yeah, the one that plays Pulowski, oh dear, hang on, TNG Doctors. Yeah, the Catherine Pulowski, yeah, that was it. Now, if you look up her... No, not that one. No, just that bit. Copy, there we go. Pulaski, yeah, so you're looking there going, oh, old girl, whatever. Who's the actor? I'm like, Diana Mulder, and you think, oh yeah, she's an old girl. Yeah, have you seen her in when she was young? She did a lot of different stuff. Now, back then I thought, oh, she's just an old girl. But in her day, guys, she was pretty hot. She was pretty hot. I'm just saying, she was pretty hot. You know, and the older I get, and because I'm looking back in time when I see her now, aren't I? So when I look back in time and I see Dr. Pulaski, I think she's a pretty good-looking woman, actually. You know, she's not bad, you know. So yeah. There we go. Just doing a thing because I accidentally pasted a password for something. Not AO before you try and get into my account. But it was for something else, so I've just changed that password just in case someone figures out what it was for. Wasn't for AO. Right, be back in a minute. I'm getting a beer. would have been 10. Right, okay. I am back once more. Yes, I am. Anyway. Yeah, so when I was watching Dr. Pulowski back in the 90s and I was in my 20s, I was kind of like, why have we got this old lady playing the Doctor? We had, you know, Gates McFadden as Beverly Crusher. But now I'm 55. When I look back at her when she would have been, I don't know actually, how old would she have been then? Let's bring this back up. So she was born 1938, yeah, so she's like 20 years older, no, 30 years older than me. 31 years older than me, I think. Yeah. So she would have been what age then? Yeah, because she was in, yeah, cooler old lady. Yeah, I mean, she ain't old there. She's in her 30s there, I think, looking at her. Yeah, but she would have been in all the way back to the 60s or whatever. Yeah, she'd have been... Yeah, so she's 8... Well, yeah, she's getting on now. She's 86. But back in... What would it have been? She'd have been the Doctor in 1990-something, so... There we go. So if we go... Let's go 1992-ish, I think. Yeah, and then minus her age. Or her birth year. Yeah, so she was 54 in that. No wonder I'm looking at her and thinking, she's a good-looking woman, you know. She was my age when she was Dr. Pulowski. There you go. She looked damn good. She looked damn good for my age. Most people my age don't look that good. So she looked bloody good. So there you go. It's all relative, isn't it? You know what I mean? '50s are the new 30s, just saying. No, they're not. There's way more ibuprofen and hurting your back because you coughed than there ever was in my 30s. Well, I really enjoyed my 30s, though. I'm not going to lie. My 30s were kind of awesome. But yeah, you know, just saying. You know, when I was 20, in my 20s, I'd fall from second-story window, rattle into some on top of a car or something, smash the window out, roll off it, laugh it off, and carry on with my night out. In my 50s, yeah, I get out of bed and I cough and I'm like, no, I just need to lean against the radiator for an hour. Yeah, what happened? You know, Big Trox 999. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, getting old. It's rubbish, really. You have the wisdom, but not the vehicle to use it for. Switch maps. There we go. We do what we can to stop the unredeemed. I will take any task you ask. Any task you ask, except go to a mission location I don't like. Like that one. Oh, we ain't going there. No one goes there. No one. Beer o'clock. Yes, it is. Excuse me. Pretty confident I can do it. There we go. We got the cave. Goodbye. There we are. I had someone at work say, oh my God, you type really fast. Because we have a sheet we fill out. You know, if you get a... In this instance, if you get a short call, so like wrong number, wrong line or whatever, or a line we don't cover somehow finds its way through to us because they've Googled for numbers. Or, you know, policies expired. It's like, I'm really sorry, there's nothing we can do. You're going to have to speak to the main team on Monday or in, you know, office hours and try and sort it out with them. There's nothing we can do. You're not on the systems. But, you know, something like that. And it's just known as short call, but we have to log it to explain why we were on the phone for a couple of minutes and there's no, you know, there's no data, there's no file, there's nothing. So we have to account for it, essentially. And I think a lot of companies probably have something similar. It's called a short call. We all fill it in on this big Excel spreadsheet, and it's, you know, between thousands of different people. So when I've got my work brain on, I go through it and just as quick as I can, so I can jump back on the queue, so I'm not as stuck in paperwork for no good reason, you know. And it was a colleague of mine was typing in the column above me, so they'd started before me entering a short call for something, and I was doing the same thing, a short call for some other reason, and I finished before they did, and they went, I was watching you typing below me. How the hell do you type that fast? Did you do like the Mavis Beacon thing? And I was like, no, I used to play MMOs and everything was in chat. I just learned I learned to type, really, to touch type, playing AO. Six teeth, I'm 64, so hold your beer, young man. Oh, I can hold my beer. Mainly because I know my limits. I'm not trying to prove anything, and I stop when I want to stop. Yeah. But I appreciate the sentiment. If I could take back what I know now, 50 years back, I would rule the world. We all would. We all would. Well, most of us would. Some people have got all that knowledge and still somehow haven't quite managed it, but yeah. I'd be a benevolent dictator, though. I'd try and be a King Solomon before anything else, I think. Okay, it's a custody case for this child. Right. We're just going to cut the kid in half. You can have one half, you can have the other half. And then just really hope that not both going to agree to it. What would have happened if they had? The parable of that story is not they were ever going to cut the child in half. It was Solomon figuring out which one of them had the child's best interests at heart. We have other methods of doing that now, you know. I'm pretty sure that never happened, number one. And number two, if it did, that's what Solomon was thinking. If they'd agreed, both said, yeah, okay, I'm having the top half, then Solomon would have said, well, neither of you is fit to be the parent of this child. I'll adopt them myself and they can grow up in the lap of luxury, or something like that, you know? He'd have been like, well, you're both terrible people then, you know? Neither of you should be anywhere near children or having them. Your petty differences, you know, would sacrifice the child itself. So, yeah, that's the parable of the story. I mean, that's what a lot of the Old Testament's about. It's also very vengeful. There's talking mythical animals and a lot of other mad stuff in the Old Testament, if you've read it, and I did, because I went to Catholic schools. No, I can't quote scripture, blah, 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 blah. Because it was a very long time ago. And in my own mind, it was a way of trying to pass on wisdom to people that had none, nor had the means to acquire it, or any outside information, you know, beside their village. So it was a means of politics back then. You know, in my own mind, that's what a lot of it is. It's about teaching people how to be critical in their thinking and be reasonable. But of course, that gets manipulated, and we end up with horrors like the Spanish Inquisition and crap like that. And the witch burnings, you know. Oh, a woman with her own opinions and ideas. Oh, because she's a witch burner. Oh, she's got medical knowledge. No, we are the only path to the afterlife. We're the church, and it's, you know, dominated by men. And, you know. There's another thing going to Catholic schools teaches you if you're a critical thinker. There's a lot of points I remember in my younger years going, like you know, pre-pubescent even, going, wait a minute. Surely, yeah, you know, so. But if you find comfort in it and it's special to you, then go to it, you know, just don't hurt anyone in the process. That's all I ask, you know. I mean, that's you know, oh, the Bible has all the answers. Well, yeah, it did at one time, but you know, the world has become such a complicated place now. It's difficult to apply the rule set anymore. So it has some fundamental answers, I think, though. And whether you're Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, or whatever, the Old Testament is in all of those books. It's in the Quran. The Old Testament is the Testament if you're Jewish, and if you're Christian, then you have the Old and the New. But you still have Adam and Eve. You still have, you know, everything else, the Ark and all of that. But the fundamentals are right. How to treat other people, how to try and live a good life. I try and live a good life and try to be a better person out of believing that there is some good in that of itself. I don't do it out of fear of damnation. You know, just because I think that way, I don't necessarily believe in, you know, any deity of any kind, but it doesn't mean I don't want to be a better human being towards my fellow human beings, or a better person generally. You know, if you need the fear of damnation to be a decent person, then you're just not a decent person, are you? You know. Surely the will to do it in of itself is a higher goal than doing it out of fear of something worse. To have grace show grace. Yeah, this is it. It's full of little phrases and stuff like that. And you've got to remember it's been manipulated many times and translated, retranslated and doctored, and, you know, you change one word in a sentence, you can entirely change its meaning. You even change the grammar of a sentence, you can change its meaning. So you have to be careful with some of it. But if the essential point was to be a sociable creature in a larger structure, beyond your own family, treat your neighbours, seeing your neighbour as a friend, you know, and all that kind of stuff. The more we do that, the better off we actually are. But there's so much us and them division, and they would be the people that sow those seeds and fan the flames of that division. are those that want control. They want you confused, uninformed, and hating random people you've never met to further their own ends. And their own ends are not kind. They're not for your benefit, they're for their benefit. And you should be very wary of people like that. They do not care about you. They care about themselves. And there's too many of them on all spectrums. I'm not picking a side in America. You know who most resembles me politically in America is probably Bernie. So never gonna win, never gonna be the president. But I kind of like the guy. Yeah, feel the burn. Every time I'm going, come on America, elect Bernie so we can all wear mittens and have fun and. You gotta remember, what was it? It was the comedian George Carlin, right? I loved George Carlin. I loved his insight, and I loved his message. His message was be kind to other people and yourselves. Above all else. Whatever your faith, whatever your belief, whatever your political, whatever. Be a good human being first. And he was hilarious at the same time. But one quote he came up, one thing he came up with, and it stuck with me, and it always has, because I talk to a lot of people in my line of work, and nothing is more self-evident than his own words, which were, take an average person, and just remember, half the people you meet are dumber than that. He's absolutely right. That's the mathematics of it. That's how that works. That's how averages work. Take the median individual and they're probably below the average. And vice versa and so on and so forth. But yeah, he was absolutely right. So you have to make an allowance for different people. And sometimes that person is making an allowance for you. I've been at both ends of that, because I would put myself about average, if I'm lucky, on a good day. With a downhill run up to it. So yeah. It depends what kind of thinking you're talking about. In certain things, I think people everyone has a kind of a thing where they're very smart at something. It could be programming the clock on the microwave. It could be setting the time on a digital watch. Not a smartwatch like the old ones with like 4 buttons and figuring out the menu system with no menu system in front of you. Anything like that I can do. I can do it quicker than I could do it reading an instruction manual for it. Excuse me. Not my problem. Consult the manufacturer. They carbonated this alcohol. I have days where people make people's eyes twitch. Your excuse. And just remember, you never know anyone else's troubles until you speak to them. So, don't judge too easily. I mean, that Old Testament saying, was it, don't judge lest ye be judged, is basically saying, before you judge someone, just remember they're judging you. How would you like to be judged? So it's saying be kind in your judgment of other people. Give them some slack. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know how it feels to them. It's the old thought experiment. Does everyone, when you see red, Are you seeing the same thing as the next person? Are they seeing something different from you? And you will never know that, because you can both identify the thing that you're seeing by one word that you've been taught, which is red, but they could be seeing blue, for all you know. You know, so it's that relativistic thing that we have, where every person's experience of the world is their own. You know, so you've got to be careful how you judge people. Dream! No, not dream. Hold on, Grandpa's putting the reading glasses on. That monitor is much too small. Diem. Hey, probably a question you get a lot, but if I start from scratch, what class would you go with? Oh, God. Yes is the answer. Yeah, there's no best class to start with. There's only easiest class to progress. So it depends what your game plan is. Okay? So if you want to play the game and you're like, okay, I'm starting from scratch, I have no money, stuff is expensive, I can't afford gear and weapons and whatnot, start with a class that doesn't even need any, like MA. It's quite simplistic to play compared to some other classes. However, they're good at damage. They can heal. They're like the second best healers in the entire game now, and have been since 2015. They're appreciated in teams because they can keep the team alive and do damage. They don't need to buy weapons because their fists are their weapons, you know, to a lesser or greater degree. Obviously, you do benefit from buying weapons for an MA, but you can get along without them, and they're defensive because they have green evasion skills. So when you go in the skill window and look, body and defense, if you're a martial artist, see these dark blue expensive skills? They're all green, meaning they cost way less IP to get to the same factor, the same number of effectiveness that they do for other classes. So they're difficult to hit, they can heal, and they do quite a bit of damage. But for a more experienced player, perhaps they would feel a little dull to play because they do the same thing in every fight. Whereas something like an agent, an MP, a pet class, things like that, pet classes, you're micromanaging what your pets are doing and how they're doing it, and stuff like that, you know. However, if you know how wrangles and outside buffs and everything else work, which you now have massively easy access to with player-made buff bots and stuff like that, pet classes are really good because, you know, you can be a level 50 character with a level 100 pet that kicks the snot out of everything it comes across. You know, so it does depend, but if you've never played Anarchy Online before, yeah, I would probably say start with an MA. You will learn a lot, but you will also never feel like you're completely stuck. Judge not, lest ye be judged is the old... I think that's the dictation of the Old Testament. But yeah. You got to remember, there's a lot of weird shit in the Old Testament as well, guys. Some pretty majorly strange crap. There's a lot of vengeance as well. So yeah, be careful what you read into it. Yeah, the modern version of Judge Not, Lest Ye Be Judged is people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You know, the same internal truth is always there. You know, the same logic is always there. Yeah, there's an episode of DS9 where Quark is trying to convince
a Vulcan that they should sue for peace now because it's cheap. And if there is a war, the peace will cost more, so now is the time to go for peace. And he makes this perfectly logical, completely commercial, business argument for it, and the Vulcan is basically like, I cannot fault your logic. But he's just thinking of profit. But Quark was a unique character in how he expanded how the Ferengi work in the universe and how a society could possibly exist under those terms. He did an incredible... Zimmerman, I think is his surname. Incredible job in that show. Anyway, I'm getting a beer. Yeah, so it does look like, for the question on YouTube, is basically starting from scratch, play MA. Pew. Pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew. Time for another beer. Yeah, I've had conversations with people in retail where I've had to explain to Eastern Europeans pre-Russia's terrorist invasion of Ukraine that the reason their satellite does not work in the attic space when their TV aerial does is the technology being used. They wanted to return it saying it's faulty, and I had to explain no satellite system will work behind a slate roof, But they simply didn't have that technical information, so they assumed it was broken and got annoyed with it. And they explained, no, it has to have line of sight to the sky. And then explained they all face south in the UK because the equator is south of the UK and the satellites orbit there, And once I explained it, they were like, oh, right, I learned something today. But God, they were ready for a fight before that. radio waves, big open waves compared to light or anything like that, can easily pass through a thin layer of roof tiles. The frequencies that radio, well, technically they're still radio waves, but are so much going up and down, oscillating so much faster. There's no way in hell they couldn't get through a snowball. Never mind a roof tile, you know? Once they got that understood, they were fine. It's like I still have to explain to my my in-laws that yes, you can watch TV on the internet, but it doesn't work the same way as the signal coming from a transmitter. They don't get it. And I've done my damnedest to explain why. I said, well, it's a data stream, but it's on demand. So the data is sent to you from a server when you ask for it by clicking watch, versus a terrestrial broadcast, which is constant and you see if you choose to look at it. I'm trying to get them to understand that, you know, it's just... Mind you, they're also the same sort of people that could never get their heads round... What do you mean, watch one program and record another? How is that possible? You know, they never quite got that either. So, trying to explain modern media systems to them is difficult. When I'm watching on Netflix, I can hit pause when I go upstairs for a pee. But I can't do it with the BBC. Well, you can if you watch the streaming service of BBC, but if you're watching the live broadcast, it's live. Well, what's the difference? Well, one's live and... Oh, never mind. It only works on these things. There you go. Yeah, they wanted a TV for the kitchen and they want to watch live TV on it. And I said, well, you can, but we're going to have to get an aerial for it or something. I think Flow Live TV. It's a live broadcast. It's simulcast or something like that. Essentially, it's the old system where broadcast is running live. I can remember being about 5 years old and watching a kids' TV program. And I'm serious now, 5 years old. Maybe even younger than that, maybe 4, maybe 3. And I thought, if we have to go out, like mum and dad want to go somewhere, I've got to go with them. You know, I'm way too young to be left on my own. So they were like, okay, well, switch the telly off. And I said, well, if I switch it off, can I watch it later? And they were like, well, no, it'll have finished by then. I went, why? Telly's off. I thought if I switched the TV off, the program stopped and started again when I switched the TV back on. When I was that old. So I understood the difference then. Of course, my olds... when they were alive, they were, you know, fairly intelligent. They understood it. That it was on demand and what on demand meant. You know, I said, well, it's like there's a remote tape player, and when you press play, it plays the tape to you, and you can rewind it, you can pause it, you can stop it, you can go back, you can listen to it again. And then they were like, yeah. I said, but the information is coming down the internet cable. Right. So you can watch it when you feel like watching it. Right. You know, they understood it. You know, you end up coming up with all these analogies relating to the analog technology they knew. But I mean, so much TV is garbage now. It is. I mean, in terms of program content quality, it's pretty terrible. I I mean, maybe it's never been good and I'm just realising it's bad now, but no, it's pretty terrible. But yeah, I was 50 years ago, I understood that, live broadcast means when it stops, it's when it's done, it's done. It doesn't matter what your device is doing at the time. Which then led me to understand how transmissions worked, which then led to me becoming a TV engineer. By a certain point, I was like, I understood the principles before the rest of the class, kind of deal. It's just one of them. But only through circumstance, I guess. Wasn't especially clever or anything. But I genuinely thought, this kids' TV program I'm watching, if I switch the TV off, it'll be there when I come back. Because I knew how records and tape players worked. Because I loved music very early on, so I knew if I wanted to stop listening to a song or I wanted to listen to it again, I just did this thing with the record player or the tape player, And I thought that applied to everything. And then was like, right. I get it, but I understood the difference of on-demand and live broadcast 50 years ago. So I'm trying to explain it to people that should know, who were in their 20s 50 years ago, I mean, the last decent program, as in, fictional program. Damn. Shouldn't have. I should have sneaked in and then shot. But anyway, that I watched that I thought was good from the main broadcasting company in the UK, the BBC, was Ludwig. Which is kind of like lives and dies on David Mitchell, who is a kind of a comedian and TV personality. But it kind of lives and dies on him being in it and doing what he does. But it's really good. It's what I call, and he calls as well, and I agree with him, comfy crime drama. So, those crime shows like Murder, She Wrote, and there's been a murder. But it's not some grisly, gory thing, and there's lots of violence. No, there's like, okay, there's a dead body. How did this happen? What's the puzzle? And it's very much that whodunit focus. But it's lovely to watch. It's so well played. It's brilliant. If you get the chance to see it anywhere, watch it. You will watch the first episode and then you will watch all 6. Ludwig, yeah, that's it. Ludwig is whatever. Yeah, this one. So if you've got iPlayer or whatever, there he is, David Mitchell. Yeah, just watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. If you like that genre. How could they have been inside the room at the time of the murder and you're not supposed to figure it out for yourself. You're supposed to be like amazed that the detective can figure it out, right? But there's a twist. The guy figuring it out is not a detective. His twin brother is, but his twin brother has gone missing. And it is the wife of his twin brother that sends a taxi to his house to drive him all the way to where they live to come and pretend to be his brother, because they're identical twins, in order to figure out what's happened. In the meantime, he's a puzzle master. So he's someone that sets crosswords, Sudoku, reverse chess, all that kind of stuff. and loves a puzzle. And he treats every murder investigation that he's forced to get involved with, because he's pretending to be his brother, the detective. He has to then solve the murder. And he keeps doing it to the point where when he does I've called you all into the drawing room to tell you who the murderer is, and then does. The only person that could have done it is person XYZ, and then explains the whole thing. But it's beautifully done. It's wonderfully played. Yeah, just watch it. It's great, honestly. It doesn't care if you can figure it out for yourself. It's like, you won't. But we obviously reverse wrote the whole thing, so we know. And here's the solution. It's very satisfying. So he solves a crime every episode, but at the same time is working on a longer story arc, whereby figuring out what's happened with his brother. Now, brilliant. It's the best bit of TV, new TV I've seen in donkey's years. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. If I explain more about it, I'll spoil what it is. You know, so just watch it. Ludwig. Yeah, Ludwig. Lima, uniform, Delta, Whiskey, Indigo, Golf. Ludwig on iPlayer. Yeah. Accidental detective John Ludwig. He's not John. His brother's John. Yeah. There you go. There it is on IMBD. So if I post that in the chat, I'll do it on YouTube as well. Comfy crime viewing. So there he is playing both characters, obviously. You know. So he's pretending to be his brother, who doesn't wear glasses. But he can he has such a he has that kind of brain that is so analytical and problem solving focus that he solves crimes that the police are like, he's done it, he's solved the crime. We didn't think we could crack this one. You know, because he's coming at it from a completely different perspective. He's coming at it as a puzzle master going, well, the only way that this could all be accurate is, you know, it's just lovely. The way it's done, and as well, like the temperament of the scenes, the flow of the dialogue, everything, it just all works. And it works extraordinarily well. Right, I'm trying to find my way back to the mission boss. Oh, I need a haircut. I know, I should go to a barber. They're open again. But you know what? I quite enjoy cutting my own hair. Only because I get the clippers out and it takes 5 minutes. Yeah, Ludwig, amazing TV show. I don't know what platforms it's on, or if you're gonna go to the bay, to the pirate bay to find it, or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Just watch it. It's worth it. I think I watched the first episode, and then at 4 o'clock in the morning, at the end of the third episode, I thought I better go to bed now. But I didn't want to stop watching it. I was just enjoying it so much. I just stayed awake to watch it. I was like, no. You know when you've got your teeth into a good book? I don't mean literally. Hey, but if that's your thing, you know, if chewing books rather than reading them is your thing, well, good boy, lassie. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where time stops meaning anything. Yeah, once you're invested, you're like, no, I have to know, you know. How did? Why did? Who did? You know. And if you slept for a month of Sundays, which would be 28 weeks of sleep, approximately, you'd never figure out what they do. Or maybe you would. I mean, and if you do, then hey, guess what? Maybe you should be a detective. Just one more episode, yeah, because it's just, it's so good and it's so gentle. And it's not what you're expecting either. You're thinking, oh, crime drama, you know, and we've got used to CSI and the grittiness and the violence and the, you know, or Bones with the grisliness, you know, the body horror and the ugh. But the thing that makes Bones as a TV show work is it's a people story. It's a story about how these people evolve their relationships together around the framework of murder investigation. You know, that's why that show really works, is, you know, all the men really fancy the female, and all the females kind of fancy the guy, and some of the men fancy the guy, and vice versa. But ultimately, it's the characters that keep you invested. You know, the will they, won't they, that ends up being a big romance. And I don't want to spoil Bones for anyone, but that's such a good show. But if you're squeamish, you're probably not going to enjoy it. If, like me, you could sit on a pile of corpses and eat a ham sandwich, yeah, you'll be fine with it. But, you know, it's where you are as an individual. I have seen things. I've seen some horrible things, but that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And I'm joking about it now because that's how you cope with it. But yeah. Well, that's how I cope with it, you know, which apparently is healthy. So, but yeah, I don't want to bring everyone down. But there was a level crossing when I was young that led to the fairground, and one day there was a family that were doing the crossing, which should not have been there. And the little girl was in the middle, and the train was coming, and Dad's going, "Come to me," and Mum's going, "Come to me." And the kid just stayed in the middle. And I was there like 20, 30 seconds after the fact. So I have seen things. And, you know, the ambulance and fire brigade, they all showed up. And we just turned around and just went, "There's nothing for you to do. You know? There's nothing for you to do. Just find everything." And yeah, that kind of has an effect on you. You know, so yeah, grisly crime, it doesn't really bother me, because compared to reality, it's just make-believe. It's just special effects, you know. But if you are squeamish and you try and watch Bones, you're going to get grossed out big time. I'm just saying, right? It's some pretty gross stuff in that. Right, is anyone else streaming Anarchy online? Let's take a look. Well, there's me. Rubicon live feed again. Okay, there's Lost. Can I raid Lost successfully this time? Because usually I do, and then the last time I didn't. I raided Bastion for free. So copy and paste, be damned. Right, okay. So we got Raid Lost because they're fun, and you know. Or shall we? Who else is on? Tomato. Adis. Oh yeah, he's speedrunner. He's really good as well. Right. There we go. We're raiding successfully. I'm just double checking because last time I didn't. Never mind.
There, I'm taking all these things because I need to go and fix my.
Yeah, Ludwig is a show I would rewatch time and time again. I really would. Because it's so good. But there you go. Right. Yeah, so this is who we're raiding. Lovely lady. Only young. But yeah, she's nice. And she's fun. She interacts with the chat a lot and whatever. Oh, she's doing Far Harbour, I think, looking at this. Yeah, I think she's doing Far Harbour. Far Harbour's pretty cool. So anyway, right, we're going to go raid them. And regrettably, she has less followers than me. And I can't believe that because of how good she is. But there we are. All right, so I'm going to go raid Lost. Our flamehead Slovian, not Slovakian, Slovian, different country. Speaks excellent English. Is a museum creator, I think. Anyway, I'm a fan. Of course I'm fanning. I'm being a fanboy. That's a word for gentlemen my age. But anyway, we're going to go raid her. So have fun, everyone. Love you all. Thank you for the resubs. Thank you for the follows. But bye for now.